The Maiden, Damsel and Princess by Jake Reindl. Read by Maya Clark. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there lived a fair maiden, as fair as maids go. She lived in a tower. Yes, a tower, I said, for these are clichés from the stories you've read. Atop this tall tower and belching red flame is the dragon of our story, one Hubert by name. The damsel, or princess, nay, maid of the tower, has for years now been waiting for the hero of the hour. The tall, handsome prince is just such a hero. Though scary, the dragon is one he does not fear though. Atop his white steed, he rides across the land, seeking love, nay, true love, and the fair maiden's hand. As he rides to the castle with hardly a care, the prince raises his voice and cries, "Let down your hair." Obedient as a maid, as far as maids go, she gathers her locks and drops them through the window. Mr. Tall, Pale and Handsome grabs a handful of hair and starts climbing the tower toward the young maiden fair. But our hero of the hour would find out quite soon it takes more than mere words to make real women swoon. For right about then, they all felt a great shudder, heard a rumble like thunder, and then felt another. The prince grabbed for his sword, feeling bravery swell. He takes up his shield for a dragon to fell. No dragon or beast, no monster or man shall stand in the way of his fair maiden's hand. For she's his for the taking, his and no others, for this was the way of their fathers and mothers. To see and to want, to take and to own, for to earn and to ask were things he had not known. So here, boys and girls, is where our story changes. The clichés are gone in the war mind and heart wages. The heart sees the prince, all gallant and fair, and whispers so softly of the love he would share. Now the cocky young prince steps out on the street, with his sword in his hand for a dragon to meet. Then the dragon of our story sweeps down from the sky, folds up his long wings and looks the prince in the eye. For the eyes are the windows into a man's soul, and a dragon can see what he hides in that hole. He stared for a while, with his paw on his jaw, till Hubert could no longer stand what he saw. "Pull back your hair," he called to the maid. "This man is not worthy of the dust he was made." The prince called out too to the maiden above, cursing the dragon and promising love. "Be not afraid of this beast any longer, for my sword is much sharper and my shield even stronger." And with that, the young prince then lunged at the beast and slashed over and over till the rumbling ceased. Hubert lay gasping and barely alive, brought low by the wounds of the pale prince's knife. The prince finally stood, admiring his work, swiped his hand through his hair as his mouth formed a smirk, then looked up at his prize at the top of the tower, a frightened young damsel, such a delicate flower. He could already feel her and smell her soft skin in the eye of his mind, and it caused him to grin. With no dragon to stop him or to get in his way, he started back toward her for to take her away. As she looked down the tower at the blood-huddled heap, lay the dragon named Hubert, who had guarded the keep. For years he had been there, the same age as she, circling the tower on his small leather wings. His job was he'd guard her, till one day a man would come who was worthy and ask for her hand. So why then had Hubert allowed him this far, and stood still while the prince drove his sword through his heart? The damsel then realized, her heart filled with shame, that she'd held back Hubert from the moment he came. for Hubert alone could do no real damage, only roar and belch flame and sound vicious and savage. It was her that controlled him, so that meant her that allowed the prince to come here and cut him to the ground. He was right, she then called to the prince down below, for something had clicked. The prince was her foe. You're not worthy at all, of me or another. I banish you now from this tower forever. The prince's smirk quivered, then grew to a smile. He glanced down at the dragon, then up, his eyes wild. Oh, damsel, you know not your position just yet, for you have no one to save you, not even your pet. Slowly, deliberately, the prince started to walk to the tower which dangled a braided blonde lock. Quickly she started to pull back her hair, but it was too late. By the weight, he was there. Tug after tug, she felt him ascend to the tower she realized was her home in the end. Whimpering and sobbing, she hid in the corner, wondering just what the prince had in store for her. Then, just as she saw the prince's hand come in sight, she felt a flutter of warmth in the back of her mind. A small, gentle rumble assured her she's right as the prince stepped into the room's candlelight. He was not the same man she had seen on his horse, for up close she could see his face held no remorse. For a moment his eyes caught hers in their gleam, and the horror she saw caused the damsel to scream. Just when she felt her mind splitting asunder, came that warm, gentle flutter, then a rumbling thunder. The prince too had heard it. His countenance wavered, for her own smile replaced the look of fear that he savoured. Then the tower roof tore, and Hubert was there, his fury so great that it heated the air. Then she felt it again, like she felt it before, that soft, gentle tug of consent he asked for. This time she gave it, and felt her fury match his. She saw his face melt as he realized this. He fled for the window and leaped toward his escape, but with no ladder or rope, he realized his fate. Long was the distance and hard was the fall, but the prince that was banished did not die after all. Bruised, torn and wounded, he staggered away, swearing revenge when he came back one day. But it's not sufficient to merely fall out of love. To banish a prince, the heart's alone not enough. So Hubert took wing to end him once and for all, for the bones of his corpse would be too close to his wall. Soon Hubert came back and opened his wings, the mind and the heart together in peace. Relentlessly guarding in that tall, slender tower, the damsel, or maid, no, princess of the tower. And that, boys and girls, is a story worth telling, for we all have a dragon in the tower we're dwelling. One day your own prince may come along. Maybe he dances or sings a fine song, but words by themselves make not a man worthy. What does, you may ask? Your dragon knows, surely. Jake Reindl, dedicated to my daughter Tora on her 2nd birthday.